the Lagos State Assembly has approved the request by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for a unified fiber infrastructure and connectivity project under the state's public-private law. The move is to enable telecom companies use same fiber cables for their connectivity. The approval followed the report of the House Committee on Public-Private Partnership, that's the PPP, presented by the chairman of the committee, Lukman Olumo, during plenary on 14th of May 2020. Olumo, however, revealed that the project was about laying of fiber cables by the concerned company and that it had nothing whatsoever to do with a 5G network or COVID-19. The project also involved the deployment of unified fiber duct infrastructure for carrying telecommunications cables and other wired infrastructure to support operators of telecommunications and other relevant utilities, as well as provide infra and connectivity requirements for Lagos State. Well, joining us to discuss this is OLUFUNSHO ELULADE, the General Manager of the Lagos State Infrastructure Maintenance and Regulatory Agency. Thanks for joining us. Hello. All right. How do you then assure Lagosians that this has nothing whatsoever to do with maybe the 5G network or other matters like that?
Well, good afternoon and thanks for having me. I don't think this has anything to do with 5G. What Lagos State government is trying to do is to prepare the backbone for the smart city. And of course, we are laying ducts. It's not the cable itself. And the essence is that we want to stop sporadic digging of the road, creating traffic congestion or, traffic incidents, so that the government will provide the ducts and, all the telecommunication operators that wants to use it can hire it. So it has nothing to do with 5G.
All right, Mr. ELULADE, I want to find out from you, how long is this project? When should it be? When are we expecting it to be completed? And how will it benefit Lagosians? You've spoken about a smart city, but directly, how will Lagosians benefit from this particular project right now?
Okay, the whole project is a 6,000 kilometer stretch of right-of-way. But we are actually doing phase one now, which is 3,000 kilometers, and it's a 24-month construction duration, of which we have spent about 3 months now. So we are looking at another 20 months thereabout, because the concessionaire is well ahead of schedule. We've laid over 1,000 kilometers of right-of-way under that, within that 3,000 kilometers. And of course, in any smart city like London, New York, safety is very paramount. And the only instrument you can use to make the city safe are, cameras, CCTV cameras. So without this cable that will be blown into, the fiber optic cables, which will be blown into the ducts that we are laying right now, that will be connected to CCTV, whereby everybody, in Lagos will be seen and be taken care of, and everybody will be safe. They will be watching accidents, monitoring and reporting, any criminal activities in the city. And of course, once the city is safe, it allows investors to come in. So in many ways, this project is very beneficial to the people of Lagos State.
Very much so, Mr. ELULADE. I must say, when I saw this news a few months ago that the Lagos State government was embarking on this project, I was very excited because it is what we need. I have two questions for you here. What is this going to mean for telco providers, internet service providers, and of course the consumers? But more so, the National Economic Council has come to a conclusion that right-of-way will be 145 naira per meter. So can we expect the companies that are concessioned in Lagos to charge right-of-way at 145 naira per meter or less than that? Because there's not much information out there yet to the consumer on what the consumer would be paying. Yeah,
of course. The government has been working on the commercial framework, but what it will mean for all the telecommunication owners or operators is that they won't need to be digging, and the cost of laying the ducts and the fiber, especially the ducts, is already taken off their project cost. And what they need to do is to just indicate their interest, express interest that they want to use a particular route. They go to the concessionaire, Western Engineering and Telecommunication Services Metro Limited. And of course, they rent the place of which they will be paying yearly subscription. So it has considerably reduced the project cost. And in terms of your second question, the 145 naira per linear meter, I don't think it's a law. It's only, a suggestion. It's not mandatory. I could remember that NCC wrote a letter of which I treated, and I indicated to the governor that, see, the cost of doing business in Lagos, it's higher than anywhere in Nigeria. For example, when I introduced the site assessment, before you erect any mast or tower, they frowned, the industry frowned. And I told them, Lagos State was part of the 6 that doesn't, charge for site assessment if you want to get a permit for installation of mast or tower. And even some states were charging, some states that are not economically viable, like Lagos State, were charging 700, 650. So it's not mandatory for us to pay or say our right of way will be 145 naira per linear meter. So, and all the telecommunication have been, sensitized during our stakeholders in January, and we have indicated we are going to up the price because most of the price haven't been touched for like a decade or 5 years. And we told them in Lagos, you want to, get right of way approval, you have to pay 1,500 naira per linear meter. So that's what it is today.
All right, OLUFUNSHO, you've kind of answered the next question I was going to ask you, and that was going to be the question of relating with the stakeholders, particularly telecoms, whether they are, whether they were informed or talked to or, discussed with on this particular issue. And then the fact of providing infra and connectivity requirements for Lagos State. When we talk about infra, what are we saying there?
Yeah, infra is just a short word for infrastructure. So when you are providing utility infrastructure, I can tell you categorically that some companies were given the infra co-license by federal government. I won't mention name, but that has nothing to do with the unified fiber duct and connectivity projects. And if I can tell you, there is no telecommunication entity in Lagos that will say he is not aware of this project, because letters were sent to their associations, like Alton, like Outcon, have undertaken virtual meetings with a lot of the executives, so they are aware. The only thing they are waiting for is the commercial framework, which, of course, the government is yet to set. And as soon as the government decides how much it's going to charge, then we'll pass the information over to the necessary quarters.
All right, Mr. ELULADE, I want to find out from you concerning the partnership and those, because I learned you have both local and international partners for this particular project. Who are those who are putting hands together to ensure this project actually reaches the particular point it should?
Of course, a lot of organizations have indicated their interest, but I don't think it's right for me to mention names, on the air. But I can categorically tell you this project is going to be successful, because part of this project, the concessionaire is going to give free of charge internet service to all the POIs, all the point of interest in Lagos. We are talking about over 100 schools, almost 15 hospitals, all the headquarters of the 20 local government and 37 LCDAs. You are talking about, the courts. You're talking about, a lot of. I'm sure this project, by the time the government starts this project, I'm sure it will be a smile for Lagosians.
Certainly. And just before we round up the conversation, Mr. ELULADE, I understand that there is also a dig once policy that's been put into place to ensure that social infrastructure across the city is not messed up. Can you tell us more about this and how the government is going to ensure that this is actually enforced? Very briefly, sir.
Yeah, of course. That's the essence of this unified fiber ducts that the government is laying all over Lagos State. You want to use that duct, you just have to apply and you connect through all the manholes that's been provided. So the only reason why you need to dig is either you want to repair or maintain an existing fiber optics cable, which of course is going to be slim because almost everybody will use this unified fiber optics duct that Lagos State government is currently providing.
All right, thank you so much, OLUFUNSHO ELULADE.
Thank you for having me.